that. I love the lyrics. Doesn't matter what's going on around you. Doesn't matter what other people are. It matters where you are and what you're doing. Yes. Yes. So Creative Thought magazines for February are out. Also, Science of Mind magazines. And John always has an article in the Creative Thought magazine. And this month, he quotes me. Because he says we have a saying. Well, how did that saying come to be? We had a saying at the Center for Spiritual Living in Asheville that if you have an opportunity to be generous, take it. If you have an opportunity to be generous, take it. That this is for you. This isn't taking something from you. This is giving something to you. And we do that here. There's often times we'll be in a meeting and someone will be asking for something a little bit unusual, and we'll look around and say, no, if you have an opportunity to be generous, take it. We had one of the founding members of Women's Song Choir made her transition a couple of weeks ago, and I got a phone call from Debbie Nordine, who used to be our music director way back in the cornfield, and told me that Jane Caldwell had passed and that they were looking for a place to have her memorial service. And I said, well, you're welcome to have it here. And she said, well, how much will you charge? I said, we're not going to charge you anything. Jane used to be a part of our center in Fairview. This is Woman's Song. We have an opportunity to be generous. And so we're going to take that opportunity. It doesn't take anything away from us ever to be generous. It only gives to us when we expand in our awareness of who we are. When we give from the fullness of us. Otherwise, if we say, oh, no, I live my life tit for tat, and if you do this, I have to get that, or God knows I won't be okay. When we live our lives like that, we live from a consciousness of limitation and constriction, and it actually costs us. Not only does it cost us financially, it costs us physically. Have you ever been in a relationship where you got to always keep track of who did what? Well, I did dishes last night. You better do those dishes tonight, because I'm not going to let you take advantage of me. Gosh, what a terrible kind of a relationship to be in, because that's coming from an idea that, first of all, someone can take advantage of you, which no one can take advantage of you. And it's coming from such a lack of self-worth that says that I hardly have anything, so I can't give it to you. And if you take that from me, then I'll be left with nothing, nothing, nothing. Instead of, I know who I am. I have more than enough. I have more than enough time. I have more than enough energy. I have more than enough love. I have more than enough joy. And I can give that away to you, because I know that as I give it away, I get more. It doesn't deplete me. It lifts me. It fills me up. If there's anything that you don't have in your life, and I'm looking at myself talking about time, if there's anything that you don't have in your life, including time, give it away. Give it away, and what you'll find is that you have more time. Why do you think busy people get things done the fastest? Because they've learned how to move time in their world. If you don't have any money, give money away. If you don't have any friends in your life, give friendship away. If you don't have any love in your life, give love away. If you don't have any smiles in your life, give smiles away. If you don't have any hugs in your life, give hugs away. Give it away. If you have an opportunity to be generous, take it. Because it's not haphazard. We are creative beings on planet Earth. We are manifesting our lives. And we create this experience. Oftentimes, we're creating something that we're ready to heal, we're ready to let go of, and we look at it, and up pops all of our fears and concerns in life, and we look at it and we go, oh, fear, you're right. I'm going to let you rule me. And what happens is we're in Ingalls and we want to buy something, and oh my God, that costs $12. Well, how can I pay for that? We create our fear, and up it comes. And so then we bow down and we say, well, I don't have that which is greater than my fear. Fear, you rule me. We have somebody in our life say, hey, can you give me a ride somewhere? We go, I don't think I scheduled that in my appointment book 3 weeks ago to have time to give you a ride. And you know, I'm running on fumes, so you better kick in some gas money because I don't know if we're going to make it. That's our fear. And we create the situation to have our fear come up that says, no, we can't. We really aren't the powerful spiritual being that Barbara says we are. There really is lack of limitation, and I'm barely holding on, so I can't rock the boat or I'll surely tip over. We create that fear, and then rather than looking at that and saying, wait a minute, I am so much more than this mindset. I'm so much more than this belief system. I'm so much more than this life, and I will not live it anymore. I will live from the moreness of me. Sure, I can give you a ride. Of course I can give you a ride. You want me to wait? You want me to pick you up and take you home? What do you need? Not from being taken advantage of, but from a sense of fullness, a sense of richness within us. If you have an opportunity in your life to be generous, you put it there. So what are you going to do? You're going to go through all of the effort to create it, to put it there, and then look at it and go, no, I can't do that. I'm just not that big. Let me tell you, you are bigger than that. You are better than that. You have more within you than that little situation. What you are is the commander of the creative forces of heaven and earth. You can manifest your life any way you want it, but you have to do it. So not only if you have an opportunity to be generous, take it. If you have an opportunity to forgive, take it. Don't just use it to put another mark against someone. What kind of a life is that? What are you, the consciousness police? Well, you go around, since there is no God up on a cloud with a big book, maybe you've decided to be that. You go around and write down all the bad things you've done. And then what do? You create people around you that do those things. You know, they're perfectly nice to other people. They get around you, not so much. That's you. That's not them. So if you have an opportunity to forgive, forgive them. The only reason you're not letting them off the hook is because you haven't let yourself off the hook. Take a deep breath. Let it out. Let yourself off the hook. Lighten up. This was not meant to be such a hassle, this life. It was not meant to be so hard. It was not meant to be such a struggle. Lighten up. Let yourself off the hook and practice that by letting everybody else in the entire world off the hook. You Broncos fans, let the Seahawks off the hook. You Seahawk fans, let the Broncos off the hook. It's all a reflection of you. And when you look in the mirror and you want to go into the critic, let yourself off the hook. You know, the truth is that you've never done anything wrong. I will say that again. You have never done anything wrong. You did what you did. If you could have done anything differently, you would have done something differently, and you didn't, so you couldn't. Doesn't make it wrong. Have you learned? I hope so. I hope in that same situation today you would make a different choice, but back then that's the only thing you could have done. So just because you have new information doesn't make what you did back then wrong. Let yourself off the hook. Lighten up. If you have an opportunity to forgive, take it. Because if you don't take it now, you're just going to have to recreate it all over again. And, you know, I don't know about you, but by the second divorce, I was tired of recreating opportunities to forgive. Because it's all about you anyway. If you have an opportunity to heal, take it. If you have an opportunity to grow, take it. If you have an opportunity to love, take it. It doesn't matter whether or not it looks like you thought it was going to look. It doesn't matter whether other people approve of you or not. Take the opportunity. You created this opportunity for you. It is your way of bringing up your fear and your beliefs in lack and limitation to look that head on and to say, no, I'm going to love anyway. I'm going to grow anyway. I'm going to heal anyway. I'm going to forgive anyway. I'm going to forget about that. I'm going to forget that that ever happened because it doesn't need to stay in my memory. If it stays in my memory, it will stay in my now moment, and I no longer want to choose to experience that. So I'm going to let you off the hook. I'm going to forgive you, and then I'm going to forget about it. Forget about, God, I want to go into a New York accent. Forget about it. Forget about it. Forget about all of the things that you think you do wrong. Forget about all of the things that you think are wrong with you. Forget about all of the things that you've got marked away in the rule book of life that has other people being put down in a silly attempt to make you feel secure and built up. We never achieve our greatness by putting others down. We only achieve our greatness by lifting other people up. And in order to lift other people up, you have to lift yourself up. You have to know who you are in order to have an excess to give. Thank you, Doug McKee, for bringing up Wilson. What's his first name? It's two sports groups. Russell Wilson. When he was in Asheville, the owner of the Asheville Tourists, Brian DeWine, said he was the greatest person I've ever seen come through here. The president of the Asheville Tourists, Brian DeWine. Why? Because Russell Wilson, while he was in Asheville in the summer of 2011, would go to charity appearances. He would go to the hospital, and he would visit people and cheer them up. He would take speaking engagements that the other team members didn't want to take. He wasn't just a baseball player. He was taking the opportunity to be generous. When life showed up with an opportunity for him to be generous, he was the one who said, I'll go visit the kids in the hospital. I'll go take Asheville tourist things to them, cheer them up. I'll go to that charity event. I'll go do that speaking engagement. And it only took him, what was it, 2 years, 2.5 years, maybe a little less than that, to be in the Super Bowl. Because when you look at your worries about who you are and whether or not you're less than who you think you should be or want to be, and you take that head on and you go beyond it by saying, I've got more than enough, I've got more than enough time, got more than enough energy, got more than enough love I can give away, then life gives back to you. Because every time you create an opportunity to give, that is your way of growing past your other limitations. Your ideas about how far you can go, bust through that. My God, we've got the Winter Olympics coming up. Bust through those ideas of limitation. The only one that can bust through them is you. You're the only one who put them there with those lies that say you're little, you're small, you're weak, you're helpless, you can't, you shouldn't, you mustn't. Those are lies. And when you create that in time and space, especially if it's another human being saying you shouldn't do that, that's great. That's a great creation. You look them right in the eye and say, oh, yes, I should. Yes, I will. Yes, I can. Why? Because that's you. Going beyond who you think you are into that greatness that you are. When someone comes up to you and they just piss you off. That's you creating something that you think is so big that you're going to give all of your emotional reality to, and instead you go, nah, I have an opportunity to be generous. I have an opportunity to forgive. I'm going to forgive you. I'm going to let you off the hook because I know that my upset is really not about you. It's only about me. It's not even in my consciousness if it's not in me. I can't see it in you. Other people are having a fine experience with that person. Look around. Not everyone is upset by the things that upset you. What's the difference? It's not the thing that upsets you, it's you. If you have an opportunity to forgive, if you have an opportunity to let go, if you have an opportunity to forget, if you have an opportunity to grow, take it. Because if you don't, you're just going to recreate it. You are bigger than that. You are better than this. There is more to you than the circumstances around you. There is more to you than the rules inside of your head that you use to try to define what's right and what's wrong in life. And usually the way it comes out is that most other people are wrong so that you can be right. Because if you're not right, then what are you? In the world of right and wrong, if you're not right, then you're wrong. And let me tell you, you are neither of those things. You're neither of those things. You are a powerful, creative, spiritual being alive and well on planet Earth. You create every experience, every moment of your life. And that which you are is greater than each and everything. You get to choose. If you have an opportunity to love, take it. Irma Bombeck wrote, after she realized that she was diagnosed with cancer, if I had my life to live over again, when my children came up to kiss me, I would stop everything. I wouldn't tell them to hurry up and go wash their hands, that we had things to do and places to go. I would stop everything. And I would look in their eyes and I would tell them how much I love them. If you have an opportunity to love, take it. If you have an opportunity to be kind, take it. If you have an opportunity to give, take it. It won't take anything away from you because you are the one deciding how your life will be. You are the one that decides. Now, people say, well, Barbara, if I take all of these opportunities, I may make some mistakes. So what? So what? I think that if you live your life more fully, you may have more real problems and less imagined problems. Less worrying in the middle of the night about imagined upsets. So you have some real problems. So what? If you created that problem, you have more within you than you need to handle the problem. Otherwise, you wouldn't have been able to create it. Listen to this. It's not that God only gives you whatever you can handle. That's not the way that it works. You can only manifest a problem or an experience or a growth opportunity that you already have the ability to move through. Otherwise, you wouldn't have been able to create it. You are greater than everything in your life. The thing that holds us back is the way we see our lives. And the way we see our lives is a direct reflection of the way we see ourselves. So there's that part inside of us that keeps trying to call us to a greater sight and say, you're bigger than this. Watch this. I'll create it for you, and then you can be bigger than it. And what do? We go, oh, no, I'm not bigger than that. I got fired. I got kicked out. They don't love me anymore. I put on 5 pounds. Oh, my gosh. No, we are bigger than those things. We are greater than those things, and the reason that they're in our lives is to call us to that greater experience. But the only way that you can have that greater experience is if you take it. You got to take it. So what is it that's going on in your life? What is it that's asking you to be more, to have more, to give more, to share more, to know more? You did that. It's all about you. Take it. You have plenty of time. You have plenty of money. You have plenty of stuff. And if you worry that if you lose any of that, you will be less than, then you are what Deepak Chopra calls outer referenced. I am only as good as my stuff. I'm only as good as my house is clean. I'm only as good as my body is beautiful. I am only as good as my puppy doesn't chew things. I am only as good as my puppy doesn't dig holes out in the front. I'm only as good at, that's outer reference. Please be careful walking in the grass. That's outer referenced. The outer is a reflection of you. It does not define you. You define the outer. And if you're ready to grow, if you're ready to prosper, if you're ready to be happier, if you're ready to be more in your joy and clearer about who you are, then take those opportunities. You put them in front of you, saying you want to grow, take this opportunity, give more, share more, love more, be more in your joy, be happier, be more joyous. If you want to have those, you have to give them out first. And then when you give them out, you set spiritual law in motion. And the only thing that life can do is give you back more of what you gave away. So what do you want? You want nicer people in your life? You're going to create opportunities to be nice. I suggest you take them. You want people who are more loving in your life? You're going to create opportunities for you to love more. I suggest you take them. You want people to let you off the hook? Let them off the hook. You know they're all around you. You want to prosper? Be generous. But don't just be generous financially. That's very important, but not the whole thing. Be generous in your thoughts. See the best in people and watch them show up as that. Be generous in your words. Speak the best of people. If someone else wants to have a problem with someone that you know, that's great, but don't join in. They can have that. Don't join in. Don't talk about it. Don't think about it. Don't be there. Be in a different relationship with that person. They say, what did you do? Oh, no, they're great. For me, they're great. They're wonderful. I really like them. And then they become that to you. And then no matter what has happened inside of your head, be generous with yourself. Be generous with yourself. Let yourself off the hook. Give yourself more love, more support, better thoughts, better words, better actions. And what you'll find is that the prosperity, perfect health, perfect wealth, perfect happiness, the prosperity that shows up in your life through taking these opportunities will catapult you into a whole different world. And might you have some problems along the way? Of course. So what? But if you have an opportunity, take it. And so it is.